Grand Rising one and oh, Grand, listen to me about Grand Rising. Good evening, one and all. It's a grand moment every time, as we say. Om Shanti, Namaste, Salam Alaikum, Ashe, greetings, one love. Hope you are all doing fine. I hope you are all fired up for another evening of supreme knowledge. Knowledge that really changes your life on a really impactful level. I have got, I always depend, wow. But every time, trust me, it's wow. We've got some information to drop. And I want you to be really attentive this evening. So let me just grab my glasses from over there, which I've left. Give me 1 second, people. Oh, 1 second. Lovely. Good. Right. Can't go nowhere without the little spectrum, you know. I must can't able to read when I deal with. So, hope you are all doing wonderful and fine this evening. And we are going to dive straight in. We are on Breath of Life Advanced, and I have got some information for you to soak in, lap up, and never forget, okay? Information that's going to change your life on how you visualize and see pranayama. What I want to do, I just remember the breatharian last week that we had I've actually got another video of him on a day in the life of a breatharian, but we're going to save that to the end, okay? I was going to start with it, but I'm just too excited to get into the knowledge. So let's just dive straight in, and then we'll peel back on that. So let me just get to my screen. Are you ready? Here we go. Let me just get my slideshow into it. Right. Yes, here we go. The era cut, you know, the chill in the ear, but guess what? The vibes is hot. So let's do this. So what are we talking about? We're talking about breathing yourself back to life. For breath is life. And if you breathe well, you will live long on earth. And there's so much more to it than just that. But to have a full lifetime of nourishing, good experiences, all the rest of it is all collaborated with your breathing, okay? And what we have to realize when it comes to prana, we went through prana a few months ago, but I just want to touch on a few things just to make sure you understand the principle of when we're talking about pranayamic breathing. It's just not just normal breathing. We have to really be, what's the word? What is the word that I'm looking for? We have to really be conscientious of how we breathe on a regular basis. Last week we touched on this, but I want to drum it into you more to be conscious of how you breathe from moment to moment. And what do we mean by this? Let's just move this so I can read this thing. Okay. Pranayama is the 4th level of a total of 8 levels in the practice of yoga. The practice of pranayama is a means by which we can discipline or control the prana that is present everywhere. The word pranayama comes from Sanskrit. It literally means to translate to the extension of breath. Okay, when we talk about the extension of breath, there's normal breathing that we find ourselves caught up in, and that normal breathing actually dictates your whole entire life, your life pattern, your life behavior, your psychology behind life, the whole entire lot. But when we talk about pranayamic or conscientious breathing, we are bringing a way of extension to the breath, an extension to the use of breath. So prana is the life force that infuses our bodies with energy. It forms a strong association between mind and consciousness. And what do we mean by that? Let's dive deep in. What is it that the yogis knew? In what is known as the subtle body, there are thousands of tiny channels known as nadis. Now, you've heard me explain this before. Now, nadis, do not mistake this for physical veins or physical, anything physical. These are all, you could consider them as light energy, okay? Light energy, light channels in the body that gives life to other aspects of the body, okay? These tiny channels carry prana around the body like rivers carrying life-giving fluid. The yogis use pranayama, breath control, to purify and tone the physical and subtle nervous system. They revealed that breath was the bridge to the spirit, as it was physical enough to feel on a material level, but subtle enough to take you to a finer level of being. They also understood that where there is illness, it is usually an indication that the prana in a particular part of the body is blocked. So they knew how to tap into a whole breathing rhythm to heal certain aspects of the body, any part of the body, previous to, if you want to call it medical science as we know it today. The first process of healing was to correct your breathing, okay? The first process of bringing a balance between your subtle body and your physical body was to sort out the pranic quality, and the way how the pranic quality is taken in is not just by the breath, but in other words, just how you breathe in and breathe out. There's a conscientious or a conscious application to every breath that you take. Now, like I said last week, every time you breathe in, if you can get to that place, the true yogi, the master, is the person that's, every time they breathe in, they're coming home. They're coming to home to mind, body, soul connection. Every breath inwards is a union between the divine within. Excuse me. Every time they breathe in, it's centralizing their being, centralizing. And they're doing that rhythmically. So every time, for instance, they might be caught in a conversation, and then when when they're listening to people or engaged in anything else, where they don't have to speak, then you find that they automatically fall into a rhythmic breathing pattern where they're just steady in their breathing in and breathing out. There's a constant flow of deep breathing in and breathing out. And in this breathing in and breathing out, they are regulating both the sun and moon aspect of their being. They're regulating the heat temperature, the body temperature, the mental activity of the mind, the access to intuitive instruction, access to creative instruction. And this is all regulated through your breathing. If your breathing out is out of sync, then you will not have access to these higher aspects of self. Now, you may say, how is intuition higher? Until you realize the power of what your intuition can actually do, until you tap into these aspects of being, then you will just never know. We can theorize it, but once you put it into practice, even just one day of regulative breathing on a deep level, in and out, conscientiously say, okay, this is tomorrow. Tomorrow, I'm going to spend the whole day just regularly breathing in and out and see what it does for me. And you're going to be surprised of what comes to you. And the more that you do this on a regular basis, you're adding to the power and the dynamics of what the energy points, i.e. the chakras, bring about in a on that mental sphere, on the etheric, mental, astral, emotional sphere, and how these things can change your dynamics on how you interact with the world around you, and how the world around you responds, not reacts, responds. How you can get the world around you to bow at your feet just by breathing correctly, okay? Just by doing this deep regulative breathing, the amount of things that you turn on as a level of magnetism. You magnetize not only just your own wishes and desires to come to you, but you magnetize clarity in communication. It's almost like you become psychic. It's almost like you can read, you can almost sense what another person is going to say in the conversation. You start to become clairvoyant and clairaudient. These things start to turn on just by deep regulative breathings and much more. So let's dive in and just find out exactly where I'm going with this. So yogis developed a way to use the prana that they accumulated through their breath controls, and then directed this prana to different parts of the body or even to others to heal them. This is known as pranic healing. Are you understanding what that just said? It's saying that you can be in a place where you're regulatively breathing and building up a healing power that you can send to others and heal them just through regulatory breathing. You can send healing powers. You can send emotional energy, so much more, so much. And this is where we're going to the quantum field theory. If you understand anything about quantum physics tells you that there is really no space and time. And the things that you can do from a mental point of view, once you're operating from a quantum level, there is no space and time. There's no distance to take into consideration. If you're sitting there and you're thinking of distance, then that is your lack of understanding of how it works. So many stories have been told, and there's many facts that's historically proven, where people could go to these great yogis in the Himalayas and so forth, and they carry a picture of a sick one, a dear loved one that is sick, and they'll show the yogi. The yogi will just look at the picture, take some breaths, go into his eyes, close his meditation. The next minute, that person is on the way to healing, if not healed in quick time or more overnight. Now, again, if you read Yogananda, Paramahansa Yogananda, Autobiography of a Yogi, later on in the chapters, you will hear many of these types of miracles. There's other great books that actually go into this aspect of pranic healing. Now, the thing about these things is that, again, when I talk about the war on consciousness, there's a consistent effort to keep the layman in the layman's box, and they use language like believed or is said to have, and this is just to make you think that maybe it's a whole wishy-washy thing, maybe so. But when you actually see that science is actually verifying what has been said and what's been done, then you have to stand back and go, oh, hold on. If science itself can quantify these things, then where does that leave you as a layman? That means that you're just out of touch with yourself and the reality of actually what is. So let's have a look at some aspects of the things that we're talking about. Air. Air is a fantastic medium for many things. When we breathe in, we don't just breathe in oxygen and the other components of air. We breathe in the subtle energy called prana. With awareness, we can learn to extract the high quality ingredient from the air and use it to invigorate our system, as well as many other things. It is like tuning your system to assimilate the nutrition from food, but we are doing it with air instead. And this is one of the things why I'm going to play the video at the end of the breatharian, because he goes into this deep when you look at the lifestyle, a day in the life of a breatharian. Absolutely amazing stuff. And guess what? It's not that difficult to do. It's not that difficult to do. One is, faith, obviously, in terms of, when you're teaching a child to ride a bike, they feel that they need the stabilizers. They don't believe that they can do it once they start cycling. And once they have faith that you can take off the stabilizers and off they go, they're on their own, bang, they have full belief that they come from a place of unsurety to full confidence in their actions. So this is really the thing. It's discipline. It's discipline that we have to drum in. And when I talk about increasing on just 0.5 a day, just 0.5% a day, just keep that consistency of growth a day. And you're going to see that change gradually. It's like peeling off the skin of an onion. Every time you do an exercise, every time you do a meditation, every time you go in and you keep in check of your mental state, the awareness of others around you, and actually conscientiously being aware of what's happening, then you're going to notice things. You're going to notice that life is starting to create an easier flow. You're flowing more downstream than upstream. You know, things are starting to work in for you than against you. So naturally, some places are better than others to breathe in. Obviously, the less polluted the air, the less polluted, the better. But with practice, you can still extract quality ingredients from even polluted air. So there's no excuse as to why or where you can get this energy from. Prana cannot be destroyed, regardless of the quality of the air. Prana is of itself. Prana is pure. So we have to know how to really tap into this. There's an ancient way. There's some Vedic practices that I'm actually going to show you and teach you how to tap into drawing prana from the air as you leave the polluted stuff behind. So they are very deep practices to do. Tell you in a nutshell now, actually, there's a way of breathing which you breathe from the throat. Okay, you breathe from the throat and not from the nose. It sounds a little bit awkward, but imagine, for instance, you're in a deep sleep or you're starting to snore. When you're starting to snore, you actually breathe from the throat. So if you can breathe gently and slowly from the throat and through the top, imagine that you're breathing from the top part of your nostrils and you're slowly making a sort of snoring sound in the income, like in the income of air. So it's almost like, so when you breathe like that, you're literally filtering the pollutions out of the air and just drawing on prana. So it's a soft, gentle breathing in from the throat, not from the nose, but from the throat, like you're snoring. Gently, you have your back straight, obviously in a pranic, in a asana position. And so it's just, and that way, regardless of the pollution in the air, you're actually using that filter, more of the filter that's in the nose to keep the pollution out and just drawing the extracts of the prana in. That is a very, very powerful pranic exercise to do, especially if you're in a polluted area. But if you just want to extract pure prana for specific needs, then that is an exercise to do within itself. No need to jump into that now, but just make reference of that. I will tell you when that will be applied. I've got even a more powerful pranayama exercise to teach you today. So let's dive in. So let's have a look at some ideas of when we're talking about the quality of breathing that we're dealing with. So we've got normal breathing, which we use to fill up the whole entire lungs and including the diaphragm area. We're taking a nice deep breath in, but what happens, just as expected in the modern Western world, there's a whole plethora of out of alignment breathing, and we do end up getting caught in these patterns. Let's have a look at these patterns. Let's highlight them so we know to stay away from them and stay, so we don't find ourselves guilty of these breathing patterns. These are the breathing patterns that we want to avoid, okay? So shallow breathers never get into the depth of life, but spend a lot of time running around like headless chickens from one activity to another. They tend to lack true commitment and stay on the surface instead, okay? This is what happens with shallow breathing. You're just a surface player. You're not filling in, you're not getting that deepness and richness of being. Getting a shallow breather to commit to any depth will bring up a myriad of fears about identity and being able to sit in stillness, which many of them view as a waste of time. They can't get with the program. They're just like, oh, and it's hard to actually pin them down and say, listen, start out your breathing, breathe properly. You understand? Because most of the time, if you learn how to breathe properly, you will change so many dynamics of your life. Okay, so those are the shallow breathers. Let's look at what else we got. We've got upper chest breathers. These type of breathers are very similar to shallow breathers, but usually more tense. They never relax, but live life on the edge. They are afraid to let go and exhale. They can be control freaks. They are generally motivated by fear. Look at this, people. Look at this. This is deep stuff. Mark these things, you know. Mark these things, because these things also highlight characteristics. Remember, I told you breathing patterns. If you breathe anxiously, there's a pattern to it. If you breathe with fear, there's a pattern to it. And we are really looking into detail here of what these type of breathings do on a normal day and how they set you up on a conscientious level on how you deal with people, okay? So, like I said, this type of breathing habit can often come about through a series of unprocessed traumatic or difficult episodes in a person's life and needs to be slowly undone with calm, relaxed belly breathing, okay? This is when we're breathing all the way down to the diaphragm and ribs, then lungs. We're filling up our being, okay? So if once you know how to do this regularly and consistently, you'll come out of the upper chest and shallow breathing, okay? Then we have fast breathers, are often in a state of anxiety, a flight or flight reflex, and don't even know it, okay? They're just there. They're just breathing. They're fast with their breathing, erratic, fast. They can be targets for heart problems because of the lack of oxygen that's flowing in their body. The body is not getting enough oxygen. The heart is overworking. The toxic levels are building up in the body, and it's just there's a lack of equilibrium between what the lungs has to do. The lungs is a very important mechanism for the entire body, especially like I pointed out last week. The lungs is important for getting rid of 70% of toxins in your body. So if you're not breathing deeply and you're not doing these things on a consistency, you're kind of blocking up yourself. You're blocking up yourself. And most of the times, toxicity in the body leads you to fast breathing. Most of the time, if you check your pulse, a lot of people who's got high blood pressure, obesity issues, diabetes, eat too much sugar, all these things will lead you toward fast breathing. Okay, let me just put this phone on silent. We have got deep tonight. We're now clear. Okay. The fast breath often follows a fast mind, a busy schedule, and a fast life with no real room for appreciation or celebration. Now, isn't that sad? Isn't that sad? Because of your breathing pattern, you can't even feel appreciative for what you're going through. And appreciation is one of the key cornerstones to your magnetism, to your charm, to your ability to have healthy relationships. It's appreciation, okay? Most of the times when you're screwing about something or you're moaning about something, check your breathing. Check your breathing. You notice that your breathing's way out, and that breathing pattern is creating ugliness in your mind. And this is where you have to say to yourself, okay, slow down, take a deep breath, clear out, come again, okay? Reset, press the reset button. And many fast breathers are slaves to a timetable, whether inner or outer, and cannot be present in the moment. They're consistently battling with past events and future events, and they never see how they sit in the middle. They're never comfortable in the here and now. It's like, okay, what about this? Look at what just happened. And Boris, and I mean, they just go. And you have to say, slow down, man, relax, no, man, easy, no, man. I'm sure everybody knows somebody like that they just wish they could just zip it for a minute and just slow it down for a minute. You're just going too fast. These people can tend to be information overloaders as well. They'll just hit you, and it's the information you don't want to hear. More time, it's almost like you have to put up an umbrella, you know, just to stop the saliva flying out of their mouth because they're talking so much. It's like, easy now, man, easy. You're not even listening to the words. You're feeling the energy of what's being said. And fast breathers tend to have this kind of approach where, because they're full with anxiety, they want to dump that anxiety on you. This is the bracket of energy vampirism right there, fast breathers. And you have to really pay attention to also knowing who you're associating with, because again, the other thing about association is that depending on who's got the predominance of the association, they will influence you to start breathing like them. There's a thing called mirroring, which you hear in NLP and other things, is that there's a conscious thing that starts to happen when in talking. You start to mirror the other person, the breathing pattern. You know, if somebody's frightened, they go, oh, something's wrong here. And you go, oh, what happened? And you're off with them. You know, if somebody comes crying, you almost automatically start to feel sad and you go along with the program. If someone's feel happy and they're elated and they come, you know, and if that's the dominant force of the moment, you go along with the flow. So again, association is so important to be aware of, because people at the corner of it is pulling you into their breathing pattern, first and foremost, because this is where they're looking for signs of coherence or signs of unification between. Do you understand where I'm coming from? Are you breathing like me? Are we in sync together? Are you feeling me? Am I feeling you? So, and they're unconsciously checking your breathing pattern without them even realizing. When you say that you like someone, it's because they breathe like you. Did you know that? Not even because they look like you or this and that. It's because you like their breathing pattern. Did you know that? Very deep. So breathing patterns are very important to observe. And once you start paying attention of your own breathing pattern, then you'll be aware of others and watching, seeing if they're trying to be manipulative with their breathing pattern or influential with their breathing pattern. And you'll be able to find a way of syncing more readily available for those that are more so. If you're breathing correctly, you will have more influence over the situation. You will have more influence to you know, influence them into a better space. But if your breathing is erratic and theirs is erratic, then it's a chaos for disaster. So you really have to anchor your breathing pattern. It's so important. I can't stress it enough. Just by your breathing alone, you can change your entire world. Okay, let's have a look. So we got erratic breathers. This is self-explanatory. I've just kind of been touching on that. Really, the energy is erratic and lacks discipline, control, and direction. The state of mind accompanying this breath is also erratic, without direction or focus and unable to concentrate on anything for any length of time. Erratic breathers benefit enormously from a breath routine and quickly develop concentration once the exercises are familiarized with them. So if you know anybody that's of erratic nature, give them a gift of teaching them how to breathe. You can do it so many on an unconscious level. Just by you being around them and breathing deeply, they're going to notice something deep and profound about you. You don't even have to tell them. Just be in that space where you're consistently breathing properly around erratic breathers, and you're going to see them start to change. You're going to see them start to be influenced by just your breathing pattern and start to go along, and they'll be like, okay, let me just slow down a bit. Let me just get with it, okay? You understand? So your breathing pattern can help erratic breathers. Even if that don't help, tell them straight, yo, my lad, slow down, breathe. Learn how to breathe a lot more easier than how you're, because You're killing yourself. You're damaging your whole system. You're damaging your whole ecosystem. You're damaging the biorhythmic aspect of your contract with the universe per se, because this is not how the universe behaves. This is not how the cosmic body behaves. So once you learn how to align yourself with cosmic breathing on a proper level, then what's going to happen is what? The cosmos, the universe is going to be behind you. It's going to aid you in every and anything that you do. When you're out of alignment with your breathing, then the cosmic body just cannot help you. It's almost like, you know, there's a disruption. You know, when the cosmic body is breathing out and in and out, and you're like this in the process, you know, it's like, you know, the breathing, this is the universe and this is you. You're out of sync. So you have to learn how to get into sync. And there's ways to know how to get in sync. There's a rhythm to your natural breathing if you know your heart rate. And this is especially understanding the science of your heart rate, your breathing. And a lot of people have made themselves sick to the point that when their heart rate is at rest, their heart rate is ridiculously high, ridiculously high. So one thing you should do is start to get a chart of heart rates and for your age and so forth, and see where your heart rate is in consideration to your breathing, you know, for your age and so forth. And then you can teach your heart rate, teach your whole entire being to slow down, to just settle down and retrain your inner stamina level, inner fitness level, just by your breathing. You can bring your whole heart rate down. And these are the things that the yogis mastered. When you bring your heart rate down to lower than 40 beats per minute, which again is another yogic exercise. It's not something that we're all going to do tomorrow morning, you know, but this is something we meditate on. You know, we first, again, 0.5% incremental. This is what they do. This is what they practice in the Himalayas. And this is how they reach that place of breatharianism and so forth. They bring their heart rates down. They bring their breathing process slow down. So there's not much energy wasted in either thinking, feeling, acting, doing, and it's all governed under discipline. With no discipline, your heart rate can be just as erratic as hell. And most of the times in this Western system, this is what's forced upon. This is partially the war of consciousness. I'm breaking down the war of consciousness and how it's hitting you from every single angle, especially your breathing. Especially, I mean, this mask business and this and that and COVID and all of that. Me have something for them today. You hear me? Me have something for them with the breathing. Mark me and you. Mark my word. And you don't have to take my word for it. The proof is out there. They just don't want you to know. Okay? Excessive exhalation. A person who cannot hold on to energy but spends it without regard for consequences. Okay, this is excessive exhalation. Then people are always a flabbergasted about the place and rare. You understand? They just like to blow out all their energy. There's no rhythm to their energy. There's always, you know, huffing and puffing people, I call these people. They huff and puff about the place. Okay, and when they're huffing and puffing, they're wasting that energy. They're dispersing that energy. And again, they're racing up their heart rate. They're racing up their blood pressure. They're raising up their minds, you know, and they're way out of alignment with the peace within. They're just way out of contact with their true selves, and they're caught up more with the anxiety of the world. And this is, you know, one thing that I'm proud of, or every single person on this course. We've come such a long way in understanding the benefits of a spiritual life, benefits of breathing properly, you know, with benefits of thinking properly. And just by sorting out a couple of mental cobwebs and stuff, we've managed to elevate ourselves to a real high position. Most of you are, you know, very adept people. You know, I have to watch what I bring to the table, because you lot are on things now. You lot are example setters now. You lot are really light beams for the world. You lot know something that can teach and awaken people. Do you understand? And because you've applied yourself to even further learning, we can't bring nothing soft to you. So again, you have to know just these little things that I'm bringing in sort of bite-sized concepts, how you can bring them into your reign and maximize them even further, okay? Okay, so let's look at excessive exhalation. A person who cannot hold on to energy but spends it without regard or consequences. These people can often suffer from burnout. They simply do not take enough breath and as a result do not have enough energy. Tiredness and fatigue are common symptoms of such a breather. Learning to balance the in and out breath are essential for the excessive exhaler to recover energy. Why is energy important? Energy is all that we have. Energy is the thing that heals. Energy is the thing that brings more life to our being, okay? Energy on every level is the thing that brings functionality to the whole entire system, and it's all reliant on breath. I can't stress how much breath is, and especially breathing patterns, are taken for granted. Whew, let's go deep because now the tables are going to start turning. So this is the last part, staggering the breath. People who stagger their breath and hold on to the inhale, little bit of gas, let me just drink a little juice, yeah, okay. People who stagger their breath and hold on to the inhale before releasing are often hesitant about life. They find it difficult to express themselves and their feelings and do not know how to go with the flow. They're just edgy. They're just stucky. Those are the people that you have to convince, oh, come on, it's going to be all right. Come on, you'll be all right. Don't worry, relax. Come on, relax. Come on, let your guard down a little bit. And they just, you know, they almost move robotic-like. You know them type of people? Stiff, robotic, and they... The classic one is when some people, like when they're writing, they hold their breath while they're writing. They're not even breathing, they're just sitting there just stuck. Breathe. If you breathe when you're writing, you find that your breathing is more fluent. You come up with more creative ways to do things. You create more creative words. Your linguistics would improve. Breathe. You find people breathe. You know, one of the most common times when you get staggering breath is actually when you're driving. When you're driving, you're worried about the lorry next to you, the person on the bike, the traffic lights, all of these things create staggering breathing in you. And now your whole disposition while you're in the car, behind the car, because you're not, you know, you don't want to be too relaxed behind the wheel because, you know, you've got aggravated drivers. What them people they call now? Road rage driver, we have to watch out for. You have all these type of people that really can, either if they're not pressing your button, they're causing a scene. You have selfish drivers on the road, especially some of them lorry drivers. Sometimes, you know, I haven't actually driven for almost a year now being out here, and just by noticing that I haven't driven, you know, when I think of driving, a mental sort of anxiety comes into mind, and a sort of whole you know, just by thinking, okay, because over here in Portugal, they drive on the left-hand side. We're going to have to get a car over here that's designed for left-hand driving. You have to get with the whole thing and blah, blah. And, you know, just thinking about it, I'm kind of half fear-struck because I haven't regularly driven on the left-hand side. So you can imagine that whole stucky thing that I get when I'm just thinking about it. Jesus, how do I approach a roundabout? How do, you know, and so forth. So driving is a very main culprit where you can see. Watch next time you get behind the wheel, watch your breathing and you're gonna see. So they find it difficult to express themselves and their feelings, and they do not know how to go with the flow. They are hesitant in decision making, and often need permission or excessive advice before moving in a committed direction if they do it at all. Procrastinators are often of this type of breather. Okay? Very important to recognize that your procrastination can be caused just by your breathing. If you want to overcome procrastination, it can easily be done by your breathing, okay? On the other hand, a slow, steady, rhythmical breath is an entirely different matter, and the results are impressive. Self-control, a relaxed attitude, and greater precision in the use of energy. So when we're talking about energy, we have to understand it's not just air that we're dealing with. It's something more fine out. You know, we might be sitting there, you know, talking now, yeah, prana, yes, Tarun, yeah, about this prana, blah, blah, blah. You know, prove it. All right, cool. All right, if I don't say that. So this is something that I found really interesting. And I don't know if you all can see this on your screen. If you all look at the dots now, they're moving crazily back and forth. Take a slow breath in and out, and after some time, the dots will follow your breathing, just to show you how your own perception works with breathing and what you visually perceive from the world. So when you breathe in, they're going to move one direction. When you breathe out, they're going to move in another direction. Just try it now. I'll just give you a quick 30 seconds. Just breathe in and breathe out. Breathe in, breathe out. Breathe in and breathe out. Yeah, and you can see this here will be on the slideshow for you to try. I will send you the link. I don't know if you can see it on your mobile screen or so forth, but you're going to see that just by perception alone, you can see how the world changes. And in the breathing in and breathing out, you're regulating a moon principle and a sun principle. These two things are affecting your perception and exactly what's happening with these blue dots. But let's take it even deeper than that. The power of intention. Intention is a special type of energy that we can bring to any task. It is a form of underlying concentration that charges up any performed action you direct it to. In other words, when you use your intention, you bring a special awareness into your practice that will give you a special result. Intention, intention, intention. Remember we spoke yesterday on the Ayurveda course about sorting out your intentions before you get into the day? This is where now the power of intention with pranayamic breathing becomes even more powerful than just what meets the eye, okay? Intention is defined as a thing intended, an aim or plan. The power of intention is the power of a focused mind. When focusing our mental energy on something, we're able to give more of our brain power to it. Now, don't forget your brain power. Your head is probably one of the lightest organs on the body, but the brain and the thinking capacity takes up to 20% of your energy, if not more. Sometimes people sit down all day and it's just their head that they're using. And this is why it's important to exercise and flex and move your muscles, go out, get in the atmosphere and breathe. But brain power, we really do underestimate our brain power and underestimate the power of intention. We really do underestimate it, people. We have to bring a new sense of, what's the word? A new sense of understanding to the power of intention when it comes to breathing and aligning our intention with our breath. Just like when I say, when you breathe in, you intend to come home. When you breathe out, you intend to be in appreciation for life that is. But outside of those just maintenance or idea of maintenance for the self, when we talk about pranic healing, when we're talking about pranic activities outside of ourselves, when we're giving to the world, intention is one of the most powerful, the intention and attention are the two most powerfulest tools that we have at our disposal to becoming spiritually superhuman. I'm going to say it. Okay. The science behind prana and intention, healing our DNA through mindfulness. I know we start to get deep, people. I know we start to get deep. The science behind prana and intention is the process of healing our DNA through mindfulness. Just through mindfulness, intention and attention. So, according to Ayurveda, we carry a life force called prana that bridges the physical body and the subtle energies like mind and emotions. We have various levels, koshas. Remember I broke down the 5 koshas before with the 5 sheaths. You got the emotional, the intelligent, the heart, body, you know, when they all break down to the physical body. And today, I thought we're gonna close today. We're gonna do a full 5 rounds of the breath of life healing, because I'm quite sure we haven't all done it in a long time, just to get back associated to this concept. Okay. So and I wish we could do it in the morning, but I know we're just pushed for time and we have to get quite a lot of things done in. And I'm trying to get so much information for you to all design your own lifestyle in meditations. And what this is supposed to lead to is that you develop 2 periods in the day, if it's 1 in the day and 1 at the night, for your meditation practices. That so we're meditating in the morning and you've got all the information that you're learning on these sides and the courses. In the evening time now, you can develop your own meditation routine to maximize your spiritual efforts that you're plowing into. And again, when we meditate before we sleep, so much wonderful things happen. So much things get created on our behalf. Healing, things start to get realigned, things start to turn on and switch on and get stronger. Our mental muscle becomes stronger, our mental focus becomes stronger. Sleep within itself is a meditation within itself. There's a whole science just behind sleep and the quality of your sleep. There's a whole science of it. And I wish we could maybe, actually, I do know Sister Laverne will be touching on that at some point and understanding the quality of your sleep in the wellness and being course. So I'm not even going to go into that. I'm going to leave that to Sister Laverne. So this is surrounded by the different koshas, the dense physical body, and surrounds the Manomaya kosha or mental sheath, where the mind and emotions are found, okay? We see that the prana layer lies between mind and body, making prana that which connects mind and body. Okay, so this is the force, the energy. There's okay, let's go into it. Recently, researchers have discovered subtle energy particles called biophotons or bioelectrons. Okay. Normally, we're talking about the photons in an atom and electrons and so forth, but researchers have discovered now biophotons and bioelectrons. They are the body's subtle energy information carriers that many researchers believe are the body's prana system. You see them go there with the word believe again? You see it? And this is the type of word that they use to dumb down the knowledge, dumb down the information, when really what they're saying is science is starting to catch up with the yogic system of old. Biophotons or ultra weak photons emissions, okay? So ultra weak photon emissions is UPEs, are light particles emitted from most living systems. So when you go to have an auric reading, they have machines now that are sensitive enough to read your aura, or read not just your aura, but the healthiness of your chakra points. And they can see if it's out of alignment, if it's ill, just by these special cameras that they have now. So photons are quantum particles that have the ability to be expressed as particles, electromagnetic waves or fields, which puts biophotons at the junction between physical matter and unmanifest quantum fields, as described in physics, or as the mind and body are described in Ayurveda. Now we're starting to get deep. Now we're going to look at exactly what biophotons are. Biophotons are the things that emit from your mind, your presence, your being. And this is all regulated through your breathing, okay? Ayurveda finds the cause of all diseases at the junction between consciousness, mind, and matter, body. So again, pointing out, which may now be described as the junction between quantum fields and quantum particles. So again, we're talking about a disturbance in the light information, a disturbance in the pranic energy, which is now creating disease, dis-ease in the body, dis-ease in the mind. It always starts there first, then expresses itself on a physical level. Science now tells us that biophotons are, by definition, quantum particles that can be expressed as a particle or an electromagnetic quantum field. Placing attention and intention at the junction between consciousness and matter, field and physiology, which is our biophotons, is now emerging as a scientific theory that explains self-healing. So now science is now confirming that you can self-heal just by controlling your biophoton or your expression of it. Look at this, people. This is now no longer just hearsay or biblical or fanaticism, spiritual fanaticism. They are now proving it. You can take this information and go and check out the research. It's there. So let me read that again. Science now tells us that biophotons are, by definition, quantum particles. This is things that we can't see with the eyes, that can be expressed as a particle or an electromagnetic quantum field. Placing attention and intention at the junction between consciousness, what you're thinking, and matter, physicality, which is our biophotons, is now emerging as the scientific theory that explains self-healing. Now, this is where you see reason why they want people want people to be mad in the head, crazy in the head, is so they don't tap into these secrets. So they're forever reliant on the medical system, forever reliant on pills, tablets, so forth, you know, antibiotics, the rest of it, da-di-da-di-da. And the thing is, again, once we damage our quantum field, we damage the expression of our DNA, then we start to fall into an area where we can't even control it ourselves. And now we give power to others. Do you think they really care about you? Really? No one can't care about you like you. So care about your breathing. Please care about your pranic management. It will change your entire life. You can bring self-healing into the program, okay? It's not a joke. So, Prajnaparad, a big word. You see that Prajnaparada? Aparad means, you know, if it was a biblical term or a layman's term, It's where you sin against yourself. It's when you sin against the law. It's when you break the rules. Oh, you've created aparad. Aparad means that you've gone out of alignment. So Ayurveda causes of disease is always pointing towards what kind of aparad. Now, prajnaparad is about dealing with the body, the mind connection, and that's where the aparad is. You know, you can make what they call scriptural aparad when you blaspheme against the scriptures. You can do have guru aparad, is when you don't do what your guru told you to do. And then you've got prajnaparad, is when you're just self-inflicting pain on yourself. You're causing stress on your own self. So the cause of all diseases is called prajnaparad, or the mistake of the intellect. Okay, it is described as when the body, the parts, start to function independently from the field of consciousness. And this is, for instance, when you have cells in the body that are become cancerous and out of your control. Okay, so for instance, cancer cells are causing prajnaparad. So again, having that, you know, your mind body connection has to be one. There's no point you feeling good within yourself and you're running your body in a way that your body feels lousy or feels terrible. You know, you've got to sort of find that balance between the two, mind body connection, where you're feeling good about yourself, who you are, your identity, your body, no mind what type of body you got. You love yourself through and through. And the more that you bring that type of awareness to your everyday step, where every step is a dance and every word is a song, then you're lining up the true field of consciousness. You're really lining up with the sweet spot. So the sweet spot is having full conscientious awareness of how you mentally feel, spiritually feel, and physically feel. So it is described as when the body parts start to function independently from the field of consciousness, the whole, from which we came. In this case, we forgot our true nature as consciousness and start acting separately from the whole, as if we are only particles and not also waves. Oh. Next week, I'm gonna be going into the aspect of the blue and red, the aspects of how you see particles and how you see waves, and what is this blue and red thing about the Pingala and Ida, and you know, which is responsible for particles and which is responsible for waves, and how you manage them. We're not going to have enough time to do that today, so I already know that. Anyway, so ideally, the body, mind, and spirit, the manifested and unmanifest aspect of the body, designed by the koshas, function as a whole rather than separate parts. New research, you know, suggests biophotons act as subtle energy carriers that function as non-contact, non-chemical, cell-to-cell communication light particles stored in healthy DNA, which can communicate over long distances in the body. In damaged DNA, the DNA is unable to hold in the biophotons, which result in a 10 to 20 times increased release of biophotons from the body. So I didn't even talk about what vaccines are doing to this. I don't even want to go into those conversations. I don't want to go in there, and I'm not even going to go there. But the fact that you have full control over your DNA in terms of your breathing and your, you know, regulating what your DNA strand is supposed to be doing. When your DNA starts to damage, it starts to dissipate too much light information. And this is what breaks down the body. This is what breaks down the manifestation of the body. So as biophotons are released, there has been a measurable increase in free radicals, likely from the DNA damage. Pray. We're going deep tonight, people. We've gone deep. When some people have said, Tarun Dumas, take time with me, please. But trust me, Just knowing this information, you can start to heal. You can start to reverse the whole process and get into your pranic breathing on a regular basis and start to heal your DNA. Yoga and meditation practices have been found to lower emissions of the biophotons and reactivate reactive oxygen species or free radicals. So let's read that again. Yoga and meditation practices have been found to lower emissions of biophotons and reactive oxygen species or free radicals, suggesting that stress reduction practices like meditation and yoga can repair DNA and therefore reduce release of light particles from the DNA. So it's very important to understand at the core what's happening on a very metaphysical level, okay? Through your practicing of meditation and so forth, you are now going into the realms of healing your DNA, stopping the release of energy in terms of biophotons and controlling of free radicals within the body, and getting everybody to behave themselves and align with the truth that you are putting out with your intention and your attention. So if your intention and your attention is to heal, that's what will happen. If your intention or your attention is to send healing, that's what will happen. If your intention and your attention is to grow, that is what will happen. If your intention and your attention is to find peace, love, joy within, that is what will happen with mind, body, and spirit, and the eradication of illness in mind, body, and spirit. Your dis-ease will come to ease just through pranayamic, regulative pranayamic exercise. Whew. So, being charged with intention. Studies have found that biophotons can be altered. Right, listen to what I'm saying, you know, people. This isn't no joke, you know. We've now gone far from hearsay. This is being proved in the science lab, people. This is being proved in medical fields. It's just that they're keeping it away from laymen. They're keeping it away from me and you, the average people. These are just for the good, the well-to-dos and so forth, and very little information can be found in regards to this information. So studies have found that biophotons can be altered by intention, which may explain distant healing, the healing of prayer, the laying of hands, and many other modalities once considered faith healings with no scientific basis. According to what is called Boken's hypothesis, intention can produce biophysical images in the brain associated with an increased emission of ultra-weak biophotons. According to the theory, biophotons emitted from the body with intention can interact with other biophotons that are related or entangled with that intention from great distances. This is related to Einstein's theory of spooky action at a distance, in which entangled photons change instantaneously over large distances. So they've been doing and playing around with these theories for decades. Look how long Einstein did. And we're still there to try to work out if prayer actually worked, if healing actually worked, if these things actually work. I'm saying, no, man, no. After the pastor gone pan strike, and I wait for COVID to go about in business before him go back to healing. You know, we really have to start taking this thing seriously. We really have to come out of this nonsensical and, you know, reach that higher place when we have full faith in understanding how this thing works, take off the destabilizers and become that we intend to become. Yeah. In other words, our greatest version of ourselves ever. This is what this is all about. How do we become the greatest versions of ourselves ever? You understand? So, human skin has been found, you know, a language. Human skin has been found to be a biophoton trapping system, suggesting that humans both emit and receive biophotons, which we now know to be changed or altered by intention and carried over long distances. And this is, you know what, you have to be careful with this, you know, because not only healing can be done, you could actually send people bad energy. It's known in Samkhya, in Vedanta, that your life could be terrible just because of how people think of you. You could have, if you have the world of people out there thinking bad of you because you're out there doing bad, just the energy of what they're thinking about you, that rotted, just that energy alone can destroy your path, because there's a consistent emission of energy that are coming from all these beings that are destroying your potential to grow, destroying your potential to become anything. You understand? You put them on a bad space, and now that you just left them there, you know, consistent. And this is why I was saying to you, get rid of the negative feeling, get rid of pet peeves, get rid of, you know, angst and so forth. Forgive who you need to forgive, because it's only for your benefit. When you start looking into the relativity of this information and the power of this information, you will be completely surprised. And once you start applying these things, you're going to realize, whoa, voila, na minute, Tarun, you turned me into some super. No, you done it by the work that you put in. I only just gave you the information. I just showed you where the information is, and you applied and you became. I can't be you and you can't be me. You can be you, and you become the best of you just by applying certain little things. And it's not hard. You know, I'm giving you the real science behind it, but the practices of it is actually just a discipline. It's not hard. It's not as hard as going to the gym and lifting 200 pounds and so forth and blah, 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 blah. You understand? It's just about discipline. It's just about applying, doing it. So there is much to learn about the power of intention, moving prana, and biophotons, as they all seem to function at the junction where frequencies, when we talk about first frequency, okay, I am that, I am first frequency. We have to understand, again, all of these aspects of what's playing around us and how do we get the best out of these scenarios. And it's about state management. And if your breathing ain't right, your state ain't right, okay? State management starts with your breathing, okay? Okay, there is much to learn about the power of intention, moving prana, and biophotons, as they all seem to function at the junction where frequencies and quantum particles meet. With intention, these frequencies may be able to change our material world. And this is where we start going into the deepness of ideas of visualization, the Go for Life goal setting course, where we're really making an impression on the pranic field through our visualization, making an impression with our prosperity, consciousness, growth. All of these things matter to enriching our process of life, okay? And, you know, this is why all these, you can see now and appreciate why I've done so many courses and compartmentalize them into the, you know, this couldn't all be just chucked into the Way of Life course. You know, they really do need, okay, let's deal with the breath of life, and then let's deal with Vedas and Upanishads in the concept of, so you can understand the basis of all it is, wherever it is you fit, whether you're an atheist or agnostics or blah, 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 whatever. I'm giving you the whole entire map in the quadrants, so you can understand and start to thread them all together. You can start see the familiarity of how this works with that, how this works with that, how this works with that. It's like a whole lifestyle map that I'm bringing to you now, so you can actually see the golden thread through it all, okay? So, in closing, this is the pranayamic exercise that I want to share with you today. It's called Bhramari Pranayam, okay? Bhramari Pranayam, or the bumblebee breath, is a calming breath practice that can be performed, that can be performed anywhere. Bhramari is derived from the Sanskrit term for bee. This breath practice is named after a type of black Indian bee due to the bee-like buzzing sound produced during the exhale. You see the big black bee there, so you see, you understand that one there is terrible when people see the bees and wasps in India. When you hear them, it's like, Lord God, I wait that. When I'm in India and I hear somebody, have you ever hear a wasp or a bee in India? It sounds like truck. It don't sound like them English bees. Them English bees sound pretty. But you see them Indian bee, and they've got an attitude with their bzzz. It's like, Lord God, away that. Quick, close the window. Yeah. So hummingbee breath. Hummingbee breathing meditation benefits, boosts confidence, and instantly calms the mind, frees from a slight headache and migraine, brings relief from hypertension, high blood pressure, agitation, anger, and anxiety considerably. It's not something that just, you know, have to take, oh, I've been doing it, I never felt nothing. No, you feel it straight away. You feel it straight away. Let me see what's going on here in terms. Okay, we're doing wonderful. So the way that is done is you sit in Padmanasa, Padmasana, which Sister Laverne would know much about. If you don't know, if you can't sit in that position, you can just sit straight with your back straight up. You close your eyes and you breathe in deeply. Let me just show you how it's done. And basically what you're going to do is you're going to take your fingers and you're going to put them on your earlobes. You're going to cut your ears off from the outside world. Okay? And then you're going to place your fingers, these two index fingers, just above your, I believe that's Ajna chakra, third eye. Okay? And they're going to use these three fingers and you cover your eyes. So you're cutting out all light. Now you don't have to press it hard like, you know, just gently. And you cover off your ears gently. Okay? And then you're going to take, it's not even that hard to do. Okay? You cover your ears and your eyes gently, and you cover your ears. And you take a deep breath in, and in that deep breath, you're just humming. But in the humming, you're feeling the whole entire vibration. It's like the end aspect of the Om. But if you I want you all to try it now. Just say, with your hands just free. Okay? And then just do it 2 or 3 times right now while we're here practicing. I'm going to do it along with you. This time now, like I said, cover your just above your eyebrows, and then cover your eyes, and then cover your ears just like that. Don't push in too hard like you're trying to poke in. Don't put your finger in your ear, just on the earlobe, and lock off the sound from the outside world. And then you take the deep breath in through your nose. Let's do it 3 times. two more. Lovely, beautiful. And the power of that exercise is, you just cannot. I'm going to try and do my best to elaborate on the benefits of that. I don't know if you notice in my voice, the tone of my voice has changed. I've automatically become more calmer. My pitch dropped. This nourishes the whole voice box, the whole thyroid gland, so much things that this one powerful exercise does. Let me just tap into the benefits so you can actually see. Bhramari Pranayama. Whether you're anxious or angry, this breathing exercise can help you release the negative emotions while breathing in freshness and joy. A simple technique with miraculous benefits, people. Miraculous benefits. Okay? The Bhramari Asana can be practiced anywhere to de-stress yourself, especially as a part of your routine yoga before bed. There are several Bhramari Pranayama benefits that you can avail to once you start practicing it every day. And it's such a powerful exercise. Bhramari Pranayama benefits. It is the best cure for stress. It nurtures peace in your being, which in turn results in self-healing. The Bhramari Pranayama lowers one's blood pressure, thus relieving hypertension. It releases cerebral tension. Hence, it is recommended as a nightly routine before you go to sleep. It soothes the nerves. Bhramari Pranayama benefits the pineal gland and pituitary glands by stimulating them and thus supporting their proper function. So what I needed to add for that is that the concentration point of when you're doing that is concentrate on your third eye and imagine the entire universe of energies coming to you and centralizing and being activated through your third eye, okay? Just imagine as you use your imagination to imagine as you're humming, you're connecting with the cosmic body, the cosmic energy field, and the type of things that happens with your DNA strand, the biophotons, how they react to this simple exercise is beyond words that can, it's so powerful. I don't even think I've done enough service in the list that I've made here, but there's something profound, even more profound, that I want to show you about this Bhramari Pranayama. Okay, so it prevents heart blockages. Very important, because again, the lungs and the heart working into tandem in every second. What the heart has to do in terms of pumping 60,000 liters of blood a day, and how the lungs help that and bring about efficiency to do that. This pranayamic exercise prevents heart blockages. And most of all, Bhramari Pranayama helps in increasing the production of nitric oxide by 15 times in the body. And we're going to always say, okay, sounds good to me, but what does nitric oxide do? Well, people, Bhramari is a phonatory respiratory exercise which scientifically accelerates the release of nitric oxide. See today, scientifically, it's already been proved. a gas molecule and key biological messenger that plays a significant role in metabolic processes at a cellular level. Nitric oxide accelerates the microcircular of blood by dilation and release of spasm of peripheral blood vessels, hence controls blood pressure. Even more significant than that, it is omnipresent, present in every cell of the body. It helps in better neural transmission and enhancement of memory. It affects apoptosis, aging, so it slows down your aging, reproduction, liposis, obesity, regulation of the body, metabolism, and a host of defense mechanisms that comes into play. When I say a host of mechanisms, a host of them. Nitric oxide also controls the hormonal secretion that inhibits prolactin, cortisol and insulin resistance. So straight away you can see it's related to the controlling of diabetes right there. By this, we can understand that by simple release of nitric oxide, we can control, transform, and rejuvenate our body and mind and get rid of various illnesses. Various illnesses. Let me show you something, people. Let me show you something, because you don't take my word for it. It's even on Google. I couldn't believe that they put this on Google. Look at this. I had to take a screenshot. Brahmari Pranayama benefits nitric oxide. Look, what's the first thing come up? Hence, Brahmari, by enhancing the expression of nitric oxide, is increased, and increased carbon dioxide by extended exhalation and alkaline pH prevents coagulopathies and morbidity due to COVID-19. I'm not saying no more, mate. I'm not saying no more. It's there. They wrote it, not me. I know me write it. See there? I them write it. Okay? This is how deep we're talking about, how you regulate your body and have the defense system in place to even shake off the dirty word. So if you want to, when they talk about prevention is better than cure, when they talk about, you know, now you can understand why they're attacking. Look at that, modified Brahmari Pranayama in COVID-19 infection. I just don't know what to say. I just don't know what to say. I completely, you know, I throw the towel in at this point. I think I've said enough, you know, and this is the power of knowing the sciences behind pranayama and breathing. You know, they're decorating it, they're putting it in and it's very hard for people to find these facts, but the facts are there. They're scientifically proven on a very, you know, molecular level. That, you know, all of these people, you know, when I say all of these people, they've studied the practitioners of these people who practice these things for years in and out, and they've tested and seen, wow, okay, how do you do that? But this information, they do not want it out in front of the common man. Otherwise, their whole system flop. When you can heal yourself and govern your entire existence just by breathing, you don't need nothing. You don't need them, they need you. You see it? So in closing, wow, how powerful is that, people? In closing, I'm going to play you that film of a day in the life of a breatharian. And I'm not saying that we all should become breatharians, but I'm saying let's take some hints and tips and really lock this knowledge in, so something rings a bell and go, oh wow, bro, you know, sir, may I have to take this thing even deeper, even serious, because if I can do that, and if this man can do these things, that means, you know, like I said, we don't have to look for dead people. There's people within our own community that's doing these things to a great higher level and reaching their full purpose of life. So if you please let me know what you thought of that presentation. It would be nice to hear your feedback while I'm looking for this film. Powerful. Okay, Sister Bev says, wow, Trey. Yeah, man. Yes. I saw a question. How long should we do Brahmari Pranayama before bed? You can do this, do 5 minutes, 3 to 5 minutes is enough. You know, some people start with 5, just doing it 5 times, you know, just to get the use of it. But, you know, I would recommend 3 to 5 minutes. Yeah, okay, wow. So you all really saw the light. Very good. I love that, love that, love that. So let me just get this film up. Right, let's get the right screen share up. Yeah, man, powerful information. Glad you all appreciate that. When I see that you all appreciate it, makes me even dig further into my vault. Says, right, it's time for drop this one. Time for come out with that. Yeah. All right. So without further ado, let's have a listen and watch the day in the life of a breatharian.
Let me explain what is breatharian. A breatharian is the one who eats or drinks very little or none at all. A breatharian replaces physical food with air and light as well as metaphysical nourishment. I know it sounds unbelievable. That's why we decided to do a fast and spend a day in the life of a breatharian, Mr. Elton El Amin.
Hi, my name is Elton El Amin of Ohio, USA. I have been living a breatharian lifestyle for the last 20 plus years. And for the last 2+ years, I haven't eaten or drinking anything. Now my day starts really early as I sleep very little at night. I start my day with a morning walk on the beach.
So, how do you start your day?
Well, to start my day, first of all, I don't sleep much.
Okay.
So last night I got in like at least 2 hours, but I'm already up meditating, stretching and all that. That's just me. And then I'll answer stuff on social media and stuff like that. But when the sun do rise, that's the time for my morning walk, for me to get out, because there's a different type of energy when you come outside than being inside the house. So and the body loves to move, and again, being food free is all about energy, frequency, and vibration. Person got to keep that in mind. So that's why this is a lifestyle. So it's like a holy grail for me to come out for my morning walk. So, and as I come out here, I take advantage of no matter what location I'm in, the lifestyle is coming with me. Now I just happen to be here at the Arabian Sea, this beautiful sea, and nature gives off what you call negative ions. And that's a high charged particle. And that nourishes the body. It's good for the health. So just coming out here, I'm nourishing myself. Plus we got the sun that's coming up in the daytime, bringing down all this cosmic energy. And it's not too hot yet, so this is a good time to come for a walk. And that's nourishing the body. But last but not least, we got this connection to the earth. Now I'm also on my barefoot journey. And this is fantastic just for me to go through this. But anyway, there's energy that's always coming up from the earth into the body. It can even be measured like 528 hertz. And these electrons that's coming up through the earth, that's also nourishing the body. So I'm making this connection to the earth, or what we call grounding or earthing. So that's why I come out and take advantage of all these different forces, so that my organism, my body can be a lot stronger and nourish itself, heal itself all simultaneously, detoxify itself. And especially with no shoes on, it's a different vibration if you had on shoes. So you having on shoes, just by most of them have a rubber bottom to them. You're blocking it. That's an insulator. Now, why do I practice Qigong? Qigong is an energy exercise. And by practicing that energy exercise, that is one of the fastest exercises that can really get the body tuned up or in alignment, as we call it. You stand on your bone structure, it gets the energy flowing really fast. So it's a great exercise to start out the day.
So I just got done with the morning walk with Elito, and I'm fasting today. I'm fasting with him. I'm just taking the full experience of the breatharian lifestyle for the day. And after completing the morning session, we did some Qigong, and I feel amazing. Now we are going to sit and talk with Elito, learn more about the philosophy of breatharian lifestyle, and some more learning coming across your way. So we have just got done with our morning walk, and we also did some Qigong. So I just wanted to ask, why is Qigong a part of your practice? Why is the Qigong part of your, and of course the Qigong that we were doing with you was very different from the traditional one that is taught to people. So just probably talk about that.
Well, the Qigong that I chose for my practice is called Jam Jong, which is standing like a tree. Just like how a tree is standing still, all you got to do is just stand still in certain positions, and your body will coordinate itself with the atmosphere around it. It's real easy, as you can see, because you was with me just now. And I like teaching it to people because it's so easy. And Qigong is just a Chinese word, just means energy exercise. That's all it is. Now, I say all meditations are Qigongs, and we used to play with words because all of them work with energy. And again, you got what I teach the breatharian message. I teach that meditation is the foundation. It says all of them are energy exercises. And we're dealing with shifting yourself to another mode of energy that's feeding. You need to meditate. You need to learn what this is about. We just talk about the remove blockages, to absorb more energy into the body. So it's a must. Until you really learn what it's about, and you can start relaxation until your body knows how to become a walking meditation. So I'm still doing the Qigong now just by being in this pose. It's a feeling state, just like how you was feeling that way in each position and move. I'm feeling like that right now, but I did it so much it becomes second nature. That's why we hear things like life is yoga, life is Tai Chi. You're using those different terms, but life is meditation. It's a way to get energy, move blockages, because we're energy beings at our foundation.
You hear that, people? Life is meditation. Meditation is life. Write that down in your journal, anywhere. Write it on your forehead. There we go.
Right. Any physicists and everything else on the planet will tell you that. That's not a mystery. Now, when you deal with the breatharian knowledge, it's going straight there to the fact that since energy is your foundation, that's the part of yourself you're working on to influence even the chemical energies, which is also energy, but it's just working at another level. This gives you so much liberation. And once you start experiencing that liberation, see, some people, when they hear about the breatharian journey, they never felt this state before. The way they feel that that's how they're supposed to feel due to conditioning. But once you start slowly tapping into this new state of feeling and feeling your own energy and knowing that you have the power to block it up, because if you become freed up, you can go back blocked up again. So you do go to a phase where you're going in and out of way in the energies. And then you'll find out that this will be the more dominant, this is where I want to stay. And then you'll go through a process where you'll go, we call it going over a hump. Where I'm comfortable with this and this is where I want to stay, and you don't take it backwards. let's get the definition clear. It's to eat very little or none at all.
Yeah.
And it's a holistic health message.
Yeah.
So actually, the human being should be living holistic, period.
Yeah.
Whether you're married, children or not.
Yeah.
That's what it's about.
Amen.
You should be food conscious.
Mm.
Watch what you eat. If you're going to eat, you should exercise.
Yeah.
The family should meditate, work with energy because that's their foundation.
Right. Since on internet, I was reading all these reports about people dying trying to become breatharian.
Right.
So there have been deaths. How do you kind of tell people that it's not a one-step process, or
Right.
how do you address the deaths that have happened while people are trying to get breatharian?
Oh yeah, there hasn't been many, but at the same time, there is people out there who don't understand, lack of knowledge, what we're talking about. Now, the breatharian message has evolved big time, especially over the last 5 years, even though the process been out there. And I even had people that come to me, wanting me to take them through a process, and they had no understanding what it was about. And I've turned them down. And the reason why they want me to take them through that process, because they're chronically sick, and you get desperate.
Yeah.
And they think if I could go 21 days, I'm just going to be healed from everything, because they're desperate. That's what they're thinking about.
Right.
See, and this is a holistic lifestyle. And I'm like, if you can't even change your health, you can't from a diet. Let your food be your medicine and your medicine be your food. If you can't exercise and learn how to meditate and slowly watch yourself heal, this isn't magic when you think that's going to take place.
Yeah.
So those people, and you could die from anything.
Yeah.
There was a contest in California where somebody died from drinking too much water.
Yeah.
You see what I'm saying? So we can't blame that at all.
Yeah.
People die all the time from different things. But the knowledge has increased. And I just had a person call me just now. I listened to your videos, but as they start asking me certain questions, there's no way in the world you're listening to my videos because you're missing the whole point.
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
My message is solid what it's saying about the holistic lifestyle, what it is and what it's not. And this person, many people make the mistake trying to fast their way into breatharian. Just let food alone and know you're an energy being. You need another energy source. That's why you got to strengthen up your energy system. And you're going to do that through meditation and other things you're going to add into.
Right.
It's a lifestyle.
Yeah.
This isn't a fly by night.
Of course. So putting the point straight, breatharian is not fasting your way through. Like you don't directly start.
Take on
That's
your
not
mouth.
that's not what breatharian means. Okay.
And people talk like that all the time on this level.
Yes. Once and for all, breatharian doesn't mean that you stop eating and drinking. That's not what it is just about. There's a whole multiple angles to it. It's a whole lifestyle. It's a holistic lifestyle that you need to follow.
And I got over 500 videos saying that same thing. People just have trouble hearing when they have their own agenda, what they have in them. This is a health message. And all you're doing is learning how some people just take it more subtle than others. You know, you're working with subtle forces. So it is going to take a lot more dedication. If you're a person that's don't have discipline, it's going to be a lot harder on you.
Sure.
And there's millions of people who lose weight all the time, but maintaining it is a whole different ballgame.
Yes.
So we might as well talk real. This is down to earth. And anything you want to be successful in life, you have to be really dedicated to discipline to make
It has
that
to be
happen.
sustainable.
Yeah.
Cool. Okay, so what are we doing next? I think it's time for some fun. What are we doing next?
Oh yeah, we can go for a mud bath.
Yeah, let's do that.
Absolutely. Yeah, let's do it.
So do you swim every day or you just like?
Oh, every day.
Every
Sometimes
day.
twice a day. A breatharian is a person that takes care of themselves first priority. That's how you think.
Yeah.
Like we should look at the dogs. What are they doing? They're living their life. Like they're living the holistic life. They're listening to their bodies and doing what they want to do.
Yeah.
What they feel like.
Yeah.
It's like
That's it.
no blockages.
No
Yeah.
blockages. Especially in Goa dogs.
Goa beach dogs.
Goa beach dogs, right.
Right now it's 12:42 p.m. in the afternoon. I have not eaten anything and I have not drank and I have worked out. I have walked almost 15,000 plus steps, and I'm still feeling pretty active. We were swimming in the sea for a bit. That was really amazing. That was really refreshing, and it almost felt nourishing in a way that does feel like I don't need to eat. We're going to take a mud bath together and continue the discussion, continue living the Breatharian lifestyle. So let's see how it goes.
Isn't that beautiful, people? Now you see why when you see these rishis in India covered in mud, they're taking food from the soil of the
So
earth.
how are you feeling?
So I'm feeling really good. I'm just feeling thirsty, like really thirsty. So thirsty that it's difficult to concentrate on work right now. But otherwise, yeah, everything good.
By doing these things of swimming in the ocean, having fun, being active, the body loves to move because energy loves to move. Our bodies is a system of energy held together by thought. And by keeping this movement and keeping this energy flow, it keeps you on the best Breatharian path because it's so much fun. For the great work, subscribe to Injadras. They did a really great work, really great crew, and they got some real good content to really put this together to help make these changes on the planet. Peace and blessings. This is Ellington Melody. Check it out.
Isn't that powerful, people? Isn't that powerful? Please tell me that is so powerful. That you can see my man is living such a holistic lifestyle and is accentuating the importance of meditation being your core centerpiece. Get your meditation under wraps for the future of mankind. Get your meditation under wraps. Get with nature. Start to minimize your food intake. I'm not saying that we're turning breatharians, but it's important to understand to make food your medicine and your medicine your food. You understand? We're moving into a whole different era. We're moving into a whole different level of polarity of sick humans and well humans. And if we want to be well, we need to really, really grasp the nuts and bolts of these aspects of life to endure. You know, I had a conversation with, I believe it was Sister Bev, and she, you know, she said it kind of flippantly, you know, maybe we can just go into this and relax, plug out the system. You know what? You're absolutely right. We can start now, slowly, developing that lifestyle, not to become breatharians, but to be self-sufficient in our energy management, i.e. breatharian doesn't necessarily to just be starving yourself to death. It means eating a little food or none at all. So you can be on the brink of little food until you reach none at all. But you know, when we minimize the chemical foods, what you call it, the commercial foods, the sweets, the this and that, don't be, you know, stomach conscious. Don't live your life by your stomach, by your tongue, but live from energy, from prana, from going into meditation, starting with Brahmari Pranayam, and start to build up and start to get into nature and start to practicing your deep exercises on a normal everyday basis. You're going to see powerful, wonderful changes that's going to happen within you. So powerful. So without any further ado, we are going to close down now. Let me see what the time is. Oh, 9:30. So I'm gonna trust that you all are going to do a bit of meditation now before you go to bed. I'm gonna trust because me want to run upstairs to my meditation room and jump on my meditation beads and do my thing in front of my altar. And do you all know Breath of Life? Go and do some meditation on your own and connect. Start with Brahmari Pranayam and do Breath of Life Pranayam straight away. In the morning now, we're going to actually start with Brahmari Pranayam before we even do Kapalabhati Pranayam. Just to tap into the energies. We're going to start to increase our exercises and start to slot in all these aspects of meditation to empower us internally and externally. And the key message, have fun. You've been hearing me saying this from the day dot. Joy, fun, happiness, enjoy your path. You don't have to make it hard on yourself, but you know, the way how you make your life hard is by disregarding these points, you know? So very, very, very powerful, very powerful. It's 9:30 now. So again, I hope you all have taken this information in. I'm gonna go and get myself ready to meditate in my meditation room and then go straight to my bed so I can be up and early bright for tomorrow morning at for our 6:30 meditation. Let me see, I've been eating once a day since 2016. See that now? Tell you that, Sister Majestic. Yes, sister. Bless up. Let me read her message. I've been eating once a day since 2016, automatically. And recently I'm finding myself going 2 days with no food, only fluid. It's simply a case of mind over matter. And I have found that I'm becoming more prophetic and in line with the elements and my creator. Amen. I will have my, what's this? What that say? Nyamin? Yeah. Go on, Sister Majestic. I will have my Nyamin days though. In other words, she still eats. Yes. So, Nyam what you need for Nyam, and then rest when you need for rest. But again, wonderful, beautiful, beautiful. Here we have Sister Majestic that's already proven that it can be done. She's going 2 days without food. Okay, and she's finding herself more prophetic. You know, she could, you know, me and Sister Majestic had many conversations. Such a lovely sister, and very powerful, very powerful. I hope you all find really nourishing information from this that is going to empower you to rise your energy levels, rise your state of being, rise your intention to have a beautiful life. So without that and without further ado, I'm going to say Om Shanti Namaste. Beautiful. Love you all. Love you all today. Amen. Wanna go and go meditate. Om Shanti Namaste.